Hello YouTube, hello Facebook, hello the world overall. My name is Morgan James Does Games, and yeah, this is going to be a shout out video for my 4 RDCs and the 1 UC that I can actually remember the name of. So the first shout out goes to Chief Sly. Now let's see, Ship 14, Division 043, so all that. So I gotta give it out to my home div, well, my former home div, 043, because the dude, sorry, the chief running it is absolutely amazing. He is fucking hilarious. I'm not even gonna lie. The dude is hysterical. Now, there are he has 3 rules in his division. Number 1, no smiling. Number 2, no laughing. And number 3, no talking. Although number 3 is just overall because recruits can say some pretty stupid shit. Trust me, I'm aware. I've been saying stupid shit a lot. But he is absolutely hilarious. Just imagine Neil Patrick Harris, but with like 10 more levels of badassdom. Just he has this awesome walk. He just goes like I swear to God. First time I put those boots on, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. What the hell's going on? And I was like, oh shit, I got that chief swag. But he's been in for, I think, 2 years, maybe longer than that. And he went from recruit to boom, boom, right up there. Just lickety split. And it really does show what dedication, prep time, and just being, again, an utter badass can do for this guy. He's like, just the weird thing is he's about as thin as me, maybe a little bit more built, and it's like, all right, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, shit, I can't even do 3.5. All right, so that would be for Chief Sly, dude. Thank you so much. Even if it didn't seem like it, I learned a lot from you. I really, really did. And those hidden lessons, those hidden gems of wisdom, peppered throughout your stories about, you know, being in Djibouti and all the other places I can only remember Djibouti, really helped me out in SEPs. Seriously, they did. Alright, so my second RDC is Petty Officer Harrison. Now, Petty Officer Harrison is, dear God, towards the end, I was having to bite my tongue to keep from laughing. And even then, I couldn't help but smile. And every time I did, he would go, Gavin, why are you smiling? I'm like, and I had a panic thought. I'm like, well, my first initial answer would be because you're fucking hilarious. But then I was like, childhood memory. It was like, you remember your childhood? I can't remember my childhood. I want to know what you remember from your childhood that's making you smile. I'm like, all right, cool. So I told him a story about how my when I was 6 years old, my dog, my German Shepherd Jake, got out the gate and ran for like 6 or 7 blocks. So I bolted my ass after him, like just full on, just. And so I ended up tackling him to the ground. And this is the part where I kind of flubbed on. I was like, and as soon as I did that, I fell and my face went into some crap. And the soccer team was practicing nearby. And so they called me Morgy Poopy Face. So that was like the first one. And I think there was like another story, but needless to say, Petty Officer Harrison is amazing in his own way. Like, I think he's also an AE, but he's Petty Officer First Class. At my point of recollection, and he was a bit tough on me. Like, the petty officers for some reason like focused on me, and whenever I would screw up, which was pretty much all the time, like you could see the joy light up in their eyes. Like it was Christmas morning and I was their gift to unwrap and tell like on what part of making my rack I fucked up on. And he too was funny. He was kind of a dick, but he was funny. I'm not gonna lie. But Petty Officer Harrison, thank you so much. You also taught me a lot about, you know, being loud, being blunt, being just there. Alright, the third guy, oh, fucking A, man. This guy, holy fuck. Petty Officer Clarence, I think he was either a third or second class. But this is the petty officer that I connected the most with. In a weird way. Hold on a second. Petty Officer Clarence. Now the reason why I'm talking about this guy is because I did connect with him, like, on a level. He still remained, you know, strict with me, still, you know, kept me in line, still reminded me of my place within the division when it came to, like, military bearing. But at the same time, when it was just he and I, and we were either going to Tranquility or we were going, I remember one particular moment. This stuck with me. This just stuck with me entirely. I was having a hard time, and I had just come back from I had just come back from Tranquility, and he was talking to me, and on the way to Tranquility, he was telling me to have more self-confidence in myself. He was saying that, you know, you joined the most badass branch of the military. You should have more self-confidence in yourself. You should be, you know, walking with pride. You know, chest out, shoulders back, head up. You know, instead of just walking around moping all the time. And when I first got there, I was knocked out. I was just trying to stay under the radar, not poke my head up too much. Failed. And I was having a rough time. When we got back from Tranquility, and I was very, very homesick at that point, and I kept remembering something that Ashley would sing to me like, "Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright." Do 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 do. That's what I would repeat in my head all the time. And at first it was heartbreaking because I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to join the Navy. Obviously things didn't work out like that. But he told me, I asked him, "Petty officer, does this job ever, is this job ever hard on you?" And he started tearing up. He was like, "Man, every day this job is hard. But I manage. We all manage. There's only 3-4 of us, and there's 80 recruits, 80, 90, sometimes 120, and we've got to instruct them on how to do things correctly, on military bearing, on rank recognition, on 11 general orders, on how to fold and stow." And it's frustrating to us because we see all this potential. We see in each and every one of you what could possibly be. And we know that with enough training, we can get you there. But at your current form, we have to be a little rough with you. But we find a way, and we manage. Petty Officer Clarence taught me the virtue of patience and self-confidence. Petty Officer Harrison taught me the value of keeping your cool. Chief Sly taught me the value of leadership, of knowing when to use your loud voice and when to be soft-spoken. This next guy, holy shit. Petty Officer, oh shit, what was his class? Second? Might have been second. Petty Officer, second class. Mayberry. This guy. This man. I'm not gonna lie. Petty Officer Mayberry, he, I don't even know how to explain this guy. Imagine if you will, a Navy SEAL, because I think that's what he might have been. That was one of the legends going around. But in actuality, he was a boatswain's mate. And if I could remember what the hell a boatswain's mate was, he was, I think they're the guys responsible for mooring the boats to the pier. Anyways, Petty Officer Mayberry taught me the value of being unpredictable, because he had a very unique way of moving about, and he was always doing something. He was whistling, he was kind of fidgeting around on his phone, looking around. He was always doing something, keeping notice of what, keeping notice of everything. On his left hand, on his, actually it was right hand. On his right hand, he had a tattoo of 2 anchors crossed. And I would always look at it, and I was always wondering what the story behind that was. And I noticed that a lot of other boatswain's mates also had that same exact tattoo. Like, okay. But there was one story about Petty Officer Mayberry that will always stick with me. It was, I think, a couple of days before Thanksgiving, and I had just sat down to dinner chow, and for the menu items for dinner chow were, I think, chicken cordon bleu or something like that. Then there was some kind of Salisbury steak, and then finally taco salad. Now, I love taco salad. I truly do. I will eat the shit out of a taco salad. And he walked up. He's like, "Gavin, give me your taco salad." And I was frozen. I was like, no. I'm thinking in my head, no. They're like, "Gavin, I'm serious. Give me your taco salad." Like, so very slowly I go down and it like continues. "Gavin, I'm gonna eat that taco salad." So I like lick the chip. They're like, "I don't care. I'll still eat that taco salad." And so I just began eating it. I was like, and finally he's like, "Gavin, if you give me your taco salad, I'm gonna give you a 5-minute phone call with to your mom." In my head, I was like, that's a pretty good deal. And my stomach's like, I'm fucking hungry. I'm eating this taco salad. So I just began like mixing everything together. It was like, you better eat every bite of that taco salad or else I'm jamming the leftovers down your throat. I'm thinking to myself, that's normally what I do anyways. And I realize now, in hindsight, that each of the petty officers and the chiefs that I interacted with were encouraging me to relax, to kind of let my guard down, to allow myself to make mistakes so that way they could do their job more properly. Either that, or they were just messing with me and I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. The reason, there's a story about Chief Sly. He asked me how old I was. I replied, 33, Chief. And it's like, "You're 33 years old?" "Yes, Chief." "Well, what did you do before you came here?" "I worked a myriad of jobs, from a butcher shop assistant to interning at a bookstore, to manning the telephones for a college fundraiser, to working for an auction company to help people find their lots. Underneath all of that, I am a author and a YouTuber." He was like, "Really?" "Yes. Yes, Chief." And he pulled me aside and went, "You should be leading this division. You should. All of these kids, 18, all these 18-year-olds, they're seeing you right now, and you're leaving a poor impression on them." And that stuck with me, because I was constantly getting busted for not being able to fold and stow correctly, not making my rack the right way. all my shipmates were, all my div brothers were constantly having to teach me and reteach me the correct way on how to do things. And that stuck with me. It really did. And so when I, left Division 043 and went into SEPs, those lessons carried with me. I knew that if put in a position of authority, I had to be both understanding, unpredictable, and authoritative, all at the same time. So, and the final guy, last but not least, Petty Officer Willis. This guy was chill as hell. He could be loud when he needed to be, but he was absolutely chill. He loved anything science fiction. He loved watching people play StarCraft in tournaments. He was a particular fan of the Protoss. Or he had strategies for all three. And the story for Petty Officer Willis is this. After maybe 6 or 9 days of being in SEPs, I knocked on his door and I asked a very frank question. Do the RDC, are we still considered part of the Navy, even if we're in separations? And it was a very complex answer, which boiled down to this. You're still in the Navy, but you're in separations. You're still getting paid by the government. You're still at RTC, but you're being separated. A lot of the RDCs see separations or recruits in separations as kind of a joke, mainly because of the reputations that SEPs has gained over the years. But we're working on transforming separations from a laughing stock of joke into a division. And that's what I saw very carefully over a period of time. That's what separations was slowly becoming. In the beginning, it was relaxed. People were playing video games, they were watching TV, they could color, they were writing letters, they were making phone calls, but then something happened. And this was before I came in. This was like in the summer months. There was a fight club going on, and as quickly as it had started, it had stopped. And everything became secure. There were no phone calls. There were no DVDs. There were no tables. There were no benches. There were no chairs. There was no coloring. There was no talking. There was no whispering. Everyone was either at attention on the tow line, or at parade rest, or in forward IG, going from attention to parade rest, or sitting down. Absolute silence for weeks on end. When I got there, There were movies, there were DVDs, people were playing board games, people were, doing crossword puzzles and word searches and coloring books. There were tables, there were benches, there were chairs. And I was welcomed with open arms. People, while I was in 043 after TAPS, one of the recruits, Atwell, asked me if I knew how to sing and if I knew how to rap. From 043, I remember these names: Delgado, Norris, Atwell, Stone, Ruiz, Miller, Miller I, Miller J, either Battori or Batoro or Batora. I remember everyone in 043. And so I, sang a couple of songs. I talked about my YouTube channel. I talked about my books. I did a couple of raps. I sang a few cadences. And apparently, in the brother div, 044, whose RDC was intense. He was intense. I'm not gonna lie. He was very intense. I have nothing more to say about the dude. But apparently, I had gained some kind of fame. And so that transferred over to separations. First night in male sets. This dude, Sanders, tall guy, just like me, then he goes, "Hey, are you Gavin?" I'm like, "Yes. Yes, I am." He's like, "Can you rap?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can rap." Can you spit a few bars for me?" I'm like, "All right." So I do it. And he goes, "All right, hold on a second." So he goes and brings another guy. He's like, can you do it again? This guy can rap. This guy can rap." So I do it again. He goes, "All right, hold on a sec. Let me get one more guy." So he goes and he grabs yet another dude. And so I'm like, "All right, cool." So I do it again. And this happens 2 or 3 more times. And by this point, there was like a crowd of maybe 10 or 15 people around me, just like going, "Oh my God, this guy can rap. This guy has a YouTube channel. This guy's published. This guy can sing." And I'm like, yeah. I didn't think anything of it. But that initial moment helped form my main experience in separations. Separations is not bad. Depending on how you look at it. It's not a prison. It's not chaotic. By the time I got to separations, the Fight Club had already, that shit had dissipated. There were only 2 troublemakers left from those days. And they were already on their way out. By the time I left separations, Alpha and Bravo were their own divisions. We were marching to cadences. We had our own chow times. We were going to the lounge and the Next, as well as Recruit Heaven. We had become respectable. My time in basic training was both stressful and educational. I'd like to think that I came out of separations as a better person than I went in. And it's due to those 4 RDCs, as well as the one UC. Actually, there was another, but I didn't give his name. There were other petty officers and chiefs along the way who helped me out, who gave me advice, as well as other divisions and division members that helped me out majorly. And to those unnamed few and unnamed many who I met along the way, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the advice that you had given me. Thank you so much for your service to our country. Thank you so much for teaching me and giving me little bits of wisdom along the way. So, I'm going to close this video off. So, thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I will see you in the next, like a beast, in the next video. Peace. Bye-bye. I know I did that with the wrong hand.